As I was editing a video detailing the $750 million of lawsuit damages being sent Travis Scott's way, this news report from the New York Post just came out that they are facing $2 billion worth of lawsuits. I can't keep up with all the lawsuits being filed. When you watch this video, the number could be even higher. As of the recording of this video, there have been 471 lawsuits filed in the last 10 days in which Live Nation is listed as the defendant. I'll give you a quick look at what some of these lawsuits look like. Tamara Bird is filing the lawsuit on behalf of a minor, one of the deceased attendees. They're applying for a temporary restraining order and temporary injunction and permanent injunction towards the producers of the event to stay away from the festival grounds so that their case can be adequately assessed and to ensure evidence isn't destroyed or altered. Respondents egregiously failed in their duty to protect the health, safety, and lives of those in attendance at the concert, including but not limited to the failure to provide adequate security personnel to implement crowd control measures and the failure to provide a sufficient amount of emergency medical support. The most important part of this case is whether the operations crew of this event acted negligently towards the safety of the concert goers. From my perspective, I have no idea how the tragedy could possibly happen, given the experience Live Nation has with hosting concerts and knowing what Travis Scott concerts are like. Live Nation Entertainment and its subsidiary Live Nation Worldwide have been linked to at least 750 injuries and around 200 deaths at its events in 7 countries since 2006. The company has also come under federal scrutiny for work safety and antitrust violations. Before the Astroworld fiasco, I had no idea how big of a company Live Nation was. They are a publicly traded company with revenues of $2.7 billion in Q3 of 2021 alone. With net income of almost $50 million, they'll be well equipped to pay legal fees and settlements. At the 2010 Vancouver Olympics, hundreds of surging fans at a free post-hardcore concert caused a barricade to collapse, injuring 19. In 2016, a crowd forced a railing to give way at a Snoop Dogg concert in Camden, New Jersey, causing people to fall about 10 feet onto a concrete pathway. This article details many other incidents at Live Nation events. Consider me ignorant, but I just don't understand how the Astroworld Festival tragedy could take place for a company this experienced in hosting events. I just don't understand how negligence didn't take place in regards to crowd surging, which is expected at a Travis Scott concert. The company settled for $50 million with victims of a stage collapse at the Indiana State Fair in 2011 that was prompted by winds of over 60 miles per hour. That disaster killed 7 people and injured 61. With as many events as Live Nation hosts, obviously things are going to go wrong from time to time, but it seems like crowd surging is a variable that can be mitigated. A jury awarded $101 million to a concert staffer who suffered brain damage when a forklift toppled the booth where he was working on Long Island, New York in 2013. Fans who attended a 2018 concert in Central Park said in court documents they were trampled, pummeled, assaulted during a stampede. What I'm struggling to understand is how are there not very clear instructions for handling a crowd surge at a concert hosted by someone who is known for promoting crowd surging? I mentioned these previous cases because if one dude was awarded $101 million for suffering brain damage, what is going to be the outcome for 10 deaths? Scott has a history of encouraging his fans to rage and do dangerous stunts, even resulting in one fan getting paralyzed at a concert in 2017 after supposedly being pushed off a 3rd-floor balcony. Houston Chronicle released police audio during the concert indicating that injuries were known during the concert.
Hey, I'm going to be at the medical tent, and there's a lot of people trampled, and they're passed out at the front stage.
343, we're in the front of the stage. We have security up here. The people are taking them to the back.
We're getting multiple reports that people are unconscious in the crowd.
That crowd is super thick, super dense. If you go in there, this could possibly turn into an officer rescue situation, and that makes it extremely dangerous for everybody. So right now, if you can get in on the perimeter, get to them. If not, try your best to go commands into that crowd to help out. Other than that, be careful.
With all of the information we've been given, it really feels like the worst case scenario that happened could have been avoided. I have a hard time believing that the best action was not taken to prevent injuries to attendees. It does feel like there was a lot of negligence on the part of the operators of the event.
The corporation says roughly 12,000 people could have entered the concert that night without a ticket. Partly because huge crowds, as we see here, stormed the gates earlier in the day. By nightfall, Houston's fire chief estimates the crowd to have been about 50,000.
Live Nation throughout the day was sending us scanner reports, and the final scanner report we have from their ticketing system was 37,858.
This news article presents an interesting conundrum. The ticket scanners only show 38,000 people going through the gates, which to the information provided to the public isn't near the capacity limits, but there could have been an additional 12,000 people through the gates without scanning their tickets. My first thought was that the defendant's legal team could argue that these attendees were taken on the liability by bum rushing the gates and entering improperly. I still don't think that absolves them from damages since the actual injuries didn't take place until Travis took the stage, I believe. HPD says there were 528 Houston police officers working that night and a reported 755 private security guards on duty, but that number remains unverified. This year to last year, we significantly increased security, almost doubling them. We added gates between the yellow and green lots to improve traffic flow and greatly expanded the footprint, extending it over to the blue lot to give room for the crowd, Energy Park General Manager Mark Miller said at the meeting. Although this sounds like the park may have done everything correctly, I still think the focus should have been on the moment where Travis took the stage and the crowd surged. That seems to be the only point that truly matters. If the concert was stopped at that moment and everyone was given a moment to spread out, then the injuries would have been avoided. And the second moment for me was when an ambulance was going through the crowd. Did that not trigger alarm bells for security, the operations department, or Travis Scott that maybe the concert could have taken a break to ensure everyone's safety?
Tonight, attorney Tony Buzbee tells me their investigation has shown this event was a failure from the start.
This concert was doomed from the beginning. It was doomed even before they filed their operations plan.
After taking more than 50 statements and combing through hours of video from every angle,
We've gotten help from all over the country, really.
Houston lawyer Tony Buzbee is representing numerous clients suing the companies in charge of the Astroworld Festival. He's assembling victims so quickly, I'm left wondering if he was passing out his business card at the back of the concert.
124 other victims, is asking for $750 million in damages. Legal experts say money like that is expected with a tragedy of this magnitude.
The judgments can be astronomical.
Here's another lawsuit I came across which appears to be a class action against Magic Money LLC. Besides being the perfect name for a crypto fund, Magic Money was the money used at the event. Here's the image provided for the Magic Money card, which was for attendees to use at the festival. Plaintiff and class members were encouraged to prepay for what was advertised to be significant savings and to avoid the long lines at the festival. Plaintiff and class members were charged service fees with each transaction, so they seemingly benefited from prepaying during their initial transaction. The lawsuit later alleges that the attendees who were using the Magic Money card were unable to spend the money because the event was canceled following the Travis Scott concert. What's unfortunate about situations like this is that the people with money left on their card have to spend time finding a lawyer, providing the lawyers with all the details, deal with the legal process, then hope that their money will be returned. Even in the best case, it won't be 100% because the lawyers will have earned their cut for retrieving the money. Let's transition to the Las Vegas Raiders and their rough season so far. Between ugly emails and tragedy, they have enough drama for a documentary. Henry Ruggs was a wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders who had a lot of potential to become a star in the NFL. He was selected in the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft, meaning he was highly valued by the organization. The Raiders signed him to a contract that would pay $16.671 million over the first 4 years of his career. As long as he didn't do anything stupid, criminal, or get cut by the team for poor behavior, he was going to be set for life after his first 4 years in the league. After taxes, agent fees, the purchase of a Corvette, late night driving sessions, and living costs, I'd estimate he could have had about $7 million by the time he was 26 years old. If that money was invested earning a conservative 6% returns per year, he'd be earning $420,000 every year passively for life without ever touching the principal. Tell me if you see something crazy here. That is Henry Ruggs' car going a reported 156 miles per hour. It was also reported that he hit the previous car going 127 miles per hour, which led to an incredibly sad outcome. Unfortunately, in incidents like this, the guilty party is the one that walks away just fine, while the victim is no longer with us. Henry Ruggs allegedly had a BAC of 0.16, twice the legal limit. He was driving recklessly while drunk and killed someone and their dog. He deserves the maximum punishment in my eyes. Since this channel focuses a lot on finances, I'll stick with that for a second. One of the reasons why athletes go broke is because they make terrible decisions that end their career many years before it should. Henry's salary for 2021 was $607,000 and he received signing bonus money. My guess is that the Raiders will be able to void the prorated amount of both numbers from the games he missed due to being cut. I would strongly believe that these contracts have clauses stating that the contract is voided following criminal activity. Because of this incident, he was immediately cut from the team and will hopefully be sent to prison for a long time. His football career is over and was cut short due to one bad decision. His decision had fatal consequences though, and he'll have to pay the price. Henry Ruggs and John Gruden both provided the Raiders with enough bad publicity, but many people don't know that there was actually a third incident that took place with the team. Damon Arnette was a first-round pick by the Raiders in the same draft as Henry Ruggs and is no longer with the team. Here's why.
5 minutes away. Pull up, Lane. I swear to God, I would. On everything I love, I would. You talking crazy. 5 minutes away. Bro, like I really did. I real deal. I was real deal. And I ain't the only one here. We got a whole army in this hole. Pull up right now. It's 5 minutes away. All right, pull up right now. I ain't mad.
I thought the point of making the NFL was so that you can make a bunch of money, move into a nice gated neighborhood, and not have to worry about people showing up to your home trying to fight you. Damon's salary this year was $1.2 million and his signing bonus was $1.8 million. Just like Henry, all he had to do was stay away from being a criminal or posting a video on social media threatening someone's life while brandishing a gun, and he would have made more than enough money on his first contract to support himself for the rest of his life. His contract was 4 years, $13.4 million. If he invested conservatively, he would have been worth $10 million by the time he was 30. Even if he was a bust and didn't earn another contract, he would have been set for life. Here's a tweet from Ian Rappaport. There were troubling off-the-field signs everywhere for Raiders first-rounder Damon Arnette. For instance, in his first year in the NFL, Arnette crashed 4 rental cars within roughly a month, sources said. Now, after a tumultuous weekend including online threats, he's out. This is a dude who played high school football in Fort Lauderdale, played college football at Ohio State, and then signed a $13 million contract to play in the NFL. Maybe I'm missing something, but how do we get to a point where this dude makes a video like that with weapons and threats to kill someone? It's incredible to me just how bad some of these athletes are at decision making. I've made a few videos about why athletes go broke, and some of the comments think I'm a hater and there's no way these guys are going broke because they signed a $10 million contract or whatever. The statistics don't lie. Too many of these young athletes make such bad decisions that it almost becomes easy to see why they go broke. They spend money like it's never going to stop coming in, then they make a stupid decision and their career is over within a year. It happens all the time. Henry Ruggs should be forced to send everything he has to the family of the victim from the car crash. He's going to be 45 when he leaves prison, no money in his bank account, and no skills for whatever workforce he'll be entering. He had the ability to live one of the best lives out of any human in the history of the world, but one bad decision and it's all gone. One bad decision. From what I've seen in these 3 stories, you can have all the money, fame, or a bright future, but one bad decision can really negatively alter your life and the lives of others. Thanks for watching.